Relationships. Some of the most nurturing relationships are so incredibly wonderful. And we love the people who we have these relationships with. However, what do you do with people who it is difficult to have a relationships with? You know, who those people who rub us the wrong way, who know which buttons to press to tick us off, or the people who are just difficult to be around. How are we meant to relate to these types of people? And yes, there's an answer to all of these questions. My name is Leah Abramov with Being and Becoming. Stay tuned for more. Relationships are incredibly important. It just never ends in life. We meet people on and off on different ages and stages and phases of our lives. And it is easy you know, for us to make relationships with those who we get along with, who make us smile, who are easy to be around, who are loving and helpful. However, I want to share with you some insights with making relationships positive, workable with those who are challenging, who have difficult character traits. Maybe it's those we work with. Maybe it's distant relatives or close relatives. And maybe it's our intimate family members. And sometimes they're going through something when they're becoming very difficult. Maybe it's an older parent. And maybe it's that difficult boss who are with us maybe for some of the day. And sometimes it's that neighbor who you have to interact with as long as you live in your neighborhood. The point of the matter is we need to make these relationships work. So I'm going to share with you some insights that are going to help us understand other people and get into their world and try to make good relationships, make positive relationships. Now, is everybody meant to be your best friend? Is everybody meant to have an intimate relationship with you where you share each other's personal lives, every nook and cranny of your life? No, obviously no. However, if a person was put and placed into our life, someone we need to interact with, we have to make it work somehow. It doesn't mean we see them every day. It doesn't mean they're our best friend, but it means that we need to maintain a balance in life. Sometimes we do need to create boundaries, but I'm not going to cover that here. However, we need to understand that if a person is in our life, we are meant to have a relationship with them and make it work. So it's interesting, the word intimacy, if you break it up, it's into me, see. In other words, if I want to understand a person, I need to get into their internal world. I need to get out of my shell and try to understand let's say it's that child. And maybe it's not really difficult people in general. Maybe it's just like that moment with your family member, with your daughter, with your son, with your husband. And it's just for a temporary moment. Just they're in this situation, they're upset, or they're needy in some way, and you're trying to understand them. So the goal is to get into their world and into them see. So into me see, try to understand them. The way you want to be understood and heard by others is really all you need, is really sometimes a listening ear, and just for someone to say, I'm sorry you're going through this, or I understand you, this must be hard for you. Okay, the next idea is my accomplishments are because someone has had ayin tova on me. When I give ayin tova on others, I help them accomplish. And in this way, the person succeeds, and I share in their accomplishments, and we both merit enjoyment because their success is really my success since I took part in their journey. So somebody prayed for you, somebody rooted for you because you are successful or you have accomplished in life. So someone has ayin tova on you. Maybe it's your mom. Usually it's a mother, right? Maybe it's that good, amazing sister. Maybe it's a good friend or neighbor. Maybe it's your father. And maybe it's, anyone. It could be anyone, a community member, a friend. Someone has ayin tova on you. And, we don't have to directly talk to the person or affect them directly. We could just pray for the person you're driving and you see a bunch of kids crossing the street. You wish them a great day. You wish them they succeed in school. They have bracha chatzlacha. Like, you just affected their world and they won't even know you. And after 120 years, we're going to see all the mitzvot we did, and you're going to see people who you affected. You're going to say, like, I never met this person. I don't know how I affected them. With our thoughts, simply with our thoughts, we affect people's lives, and you're going to get credit forever. So the next idea is people will get you somewhere better. So difficult people are definitely going to make you into a better person. Now, does that mean you have to seek relationships with difficult people? No, but when you do interact with them and they are challenging, they will get you into a better place. They will help you become a better person. So the challenges that they bring into the relationship will make you an improved person. So, for example, like I have, thank God, more than one daughter, and one of my daughters was extremely sensitive growing up, and it changed me as a parent personally, because I became a much more sensitive parent. Some of my kids are like, if I say something, they'll listen, they won't give me trouble. But this child needed more of a listening ear, more for me to get into their internal world. And I had to adjust, I had to change, I had to become a better me. So that's just simply an example. Another idea we could say is, how would I want my rabbi, my rebbitzin, or mentor for me to respond? Like, sometimes we're like, how do I respond to this person? How do I act? And some of the times it's like, if you had this person to confide in this person, in someone who you admire, someone who you respect. Okay, so this person would not want me to respond this way. And your initial reaction is not yours. So if you want to be angry, or you want to say something you will regret later, just one of the ideas is just to stop yourself and think, let this pass. It takes 90 seconds for the initial, negative feelings to pass. The strong wave, and then you'll be able to think. So give yourself a minute or 2 minutes at least, to think about a situation. How would this person want me to respond? You have to know that when you're standing, next to a person, you're standing next to a person of greatness. Know that you are standing before greatness. Every person is capable of so much. Every Jewish person is a whole world of their own. So we have no idea who we are capable of becoming, and we have no idea who this person is capable of becoming. So we need to understand that as long as a person is alive, a person is capable of change. Most people are good people. There's some people who are sick people, like sick in the head. There's some people who are evil, but it's really a smaller percentage. Most people are good, and they mean well, and you know what? Everybody makes sense to themselves. That's one of the greatest lines from Rebbe Esther Schwartz that I learned. And everybody makes sense to themselves. If I only understand them from their own perspective, I would also make sense. Without you, there wouldn't be me. So we know that this world exists in balance. If I exist, that means the person has to exist also. And Hashem makes the world balanced. Our sages teach us that if there's an evil person in the world, there's also a very righteous person in the world, just to keep that balance in the world. So we have to understand that, I can't just live in a vacuum. I don't live by myself. The secular world teaches us, like, you don't like it, you could like it or you could love it. Like, this is who I am, this is how I was born. No, we're not born a certain way. We can always change. And if a person is meant to be in my life, I'm meant to change for this person, right? I heard one leader say, I'm not for everyone. No, but if you are a leader of a certain position where you are involved with a lot of people, you need to be for everyone. You need to cater to the needs of everyone. You need to create your establishment and manage this place where everyone's needs are met. So that's really important to know, that without you, there wouldn't be me. Another idea is, it's bigger than me. The situation is more than it seems, and more than how I see it through my lenses. The situation is bigger than me. Sometimes we tend to judge the situation. this must be like this, and this must be from this perspective. But truth of the matter is, we only see like a small lens into the bigger picture. So it could be a bigger than the person. And it's all a matter of perspective. You could be in the worst mood, and of course you're just like so, so set in your ways. And then the second you come out of the house and you see someone who's handicapped, and you could have sworn that you just had the worst day and you had just have the worst circumstance in life. When you see someone who has less or who's handicapped, all of a sudden you just melt, and you just look at your circumstances like, wow, I don't have it as bad as this person. And it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of how you see life. We tend to put everyone in our lives and every situation in our lives into boxes. Like, this is my experience here, this is what I do in the afternoon, this is what I do in the evening, I can never do this here. Or we put people into boxes, like she's always ungrateful, or she's always hurtful, or this person always wishes the worst for me. So we can't categorize people in our lives, and we put them into boxes. We're like, we're never going to interact them like this. We're never going to share our lives with them. It's true, you're not meant to share your whole life with the whole world, but the point is, a person is capable of change, and as long as a person is alive, they're able to make teshuvah. Our sages teaches us, even in the worst of times, when the person is just before death, a person really regrets their life. Obviously, we don't know when that's going to happen, so you shouldn't wait for that. But for heartfelt teshuvah, when you really regret and return to your holy self, we're brought down as pure beings, and then we stay in this world, and we have trials and tribulations. So we have to rectify ourselves. We have to do teshuvah. So we have to understand that not to put people into boxes. The only thing that should be related to boxes are funerals. Finally, a person is put into a box, that's at a funeral. Okay. So we also want to understand that it's very hard for a person to understand their own situation many times and actually put one's foot in front of another. I actually heard a mother who has many, many children. She said, I don't blame my babysitters for not staying and helping me out for a long time. They're always, leaving me. And she says, I wouldn't even want a job like this, no matter how much they paid me. And I'm just stuck in this position because these are my circumstances. I'm the mother. And we just don't know the world of a person. We just don't know. We cannot judge. We learn from our sages that you cannot judge a person until you're in their shoes. And true, we're never in someone's shoes. Never. We're all going through a cycle for each other. So the most important thing is to go into the role that you are playing, right? If you are a sister, if you are a friend, a sister-in-law, a mother, a mother-in-law, we all have a role, and we have cycles. If you're a mother, eventually you'll be a mother-in-law, eventually you'll be a grandmother. We all have cycles, and a person's hardest times can mean that they are in the spiritual Olympics. So if you are going to be their cheerleader, you're going to take a part of their journey and support them and encourage them to succeed. And in this way, you will benefit forever because you are connected. So you may be going through a hard time in life right now, but a person shares with you their hard times. It's really wrong for you to say, I'm also going through a hard time, or I'm going through a harder time. Leave a person in their own, kind of part on stage, and let them. Sometimes we see a person shine, but let a person actually share their circumstance, share the difficult moments, and kind of be there for them, encourage them, have a listening ear. Don't ever compare yourself to anyone. Don't say, oh, this person is also going, unless they're going through the same thing they're going through and how they pulled through. Maybe, because you also have to be careful how you talk, because maybe the person doesn't want to hear this right now. Just wants to vent, or just wants to have someone listen. It's really important that we do things at the right time. Just take people seriously from where they are coming from. Many times, all they need is to be heard. So relationships, we know, are like housekeeping. They just never end, right? Um, Even in marriage, there's different phases. If you see when you first got married, it's a different stage, right? When you're a teenager of parents, you're a different stage in the relationship. Then when you become a mother, it's like you understand your parents so much better and you're more grateful, usually. So our relationships are always changing with people. I just heard someone say, this person really hurt me so badly, but when I decided to forgive them, and now she goes, we're just so close, it's just unbelievable. And only because you gave that situation, that relationship, a new chance. It's just so beautiful. Hashem wants ultimately shalom in the world, shalom and peace in the world, shalom with each other. People are liked by the most people because they like most people. So when you see someone who's liked by so many people, it's because they like so many people, right? They are a likable person. They're a positive person. People gravitate towards them. One powerful idea, I want to share two more ideas, is you pick this person to be in your life. Before we came down to this world, Hashem showed us our whole life. Hashem showed us the people we will interact with, both people who are, positive and we will have nurturing relationships with, and loving relationships with. And you are also presented with the people who will rub you the wrong way, those difficult, challenging people. And Hashem said, I'm going to send you these people, but I know you will succeed. Hashem doesn't give us any challenge where he doesn't see that we will succeed. So Hashem says, don't worry, you'll be challenged, but you will also succeed. And you signed the contract with Hashem. We all signed it, and then we came down to this world. And yes, we do forget, but it's much easier for us to understand, to go through and cope through life and overcome our challenges, even with difficult people, when we know we have succeeded. One of the things I do with my coaching clients is I create a certificate, and whatever challenge they have, there's a certificate. Let's say it's Master of Patience or whatever challenge they're going through. So I tell them, you're the master of it. And even though they're in their baby steps, they're at the beginning of it, they see that certificate and they know they're the master. So they have to act like the master, right? It's like the principal who has their plaque in the office. They have to act the part. If you have more in life, you're expected to do more with it. So if you have a certain position, Hashem expects more from you, right? So just like I'm rebuilding myself when I am relating to other people, I am rebuilding the Beit HaMikdash, our temple, when I relate to others. So I hope these ideas were so helpful. They were definitely helpful to me, and they're shared by the Chafetz Chaim Foundation, and they're thoughts by Hani Jaravel, Sarah Eliza Scheinberg, and Debbie Selengut. Thank you so much for watching. I hope we can all learn from some of these ideas. Take one idea and have it become a part of you. And I hope we will be able to create closer, happier, positive relationships, even with people who challenge us. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.